Hello, blossoming speaker. I invite you to picture this. You're standing in a group at a work event and you say something completely harmless as an icebreaker to somebody in that industry that is important to you. You know, someone whose opinion of you matters more than you'd like to admit. And then they respond with the one thing you could not have possibly predicted. They put you on the spot in front of everyone, and then they just smile, waiting, enjoying it even. That exact moment happened to me once, and in seconds after it, my brain didn't produce a witty comeback. It produced static buzzing in my mind with no clear image of what to say next. Because suddenly, this wasn't a light conversation anymore. In my head, it became a vote on whether I belonged in that room at all. If you've ever had a moment like that, an unexpected question in an interview, a joke that landed sideways, someone calling you out playfully in front of a group, data sprung on you that you were not even aware of before that moment, you'll know exactly the feeling I mean. Your mind doesn't calmly search for the right words. Instead, it loops. It replays what was just said over and over again, or constantly asks you a question like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? While the silence stretches to what feels like forever, and the pressure that you feel in the room seems to multiply by the second. For this situation, I've come to understand that we tend to treat them like a test of our worth, like the right quick reply proves we're sharp, confident, and deserving of the room or position we are in. But that's not exactly what's being tested. What's being tested is something a little more kinder than you probably expect. It's testing whether you can find your footing again without falling apart. That's it. That's the whole test. Not perfection, not a correct response. It's all about how you recover from the surprise. Your action on how you recover is what influences trust in the relationships around you in that moment. Now, once you see it that way, what I experience is that the pressure changes completely. It deflates. You can begin to feel your shoulders relax even as you lengthen your posture. You no longer are trying to produce the perfect line under a spotlight. You're just trying to breathe, get present, and say something true to who you are and to the relationship you're actually in that moment. This is a smaller ask than the one that our nervous system originally asks us when it creates that panic mode within our mind. In my case, I inhaled. I focused on being in the room rather than on the anxious loop going on in my head. And I replied with something light. It was a small joke back, nothing clever, nothing rehearsed, nothing amazing. He laughed. Now, he laughed not because it was funny. He laughed because I was able to keep talking, stay present, and not be taken back or stuck from the surprise that that person delivered to me. At that moment, which felt like the most awkward few seconds of my professional life when it was happening, ended up becoming one of the things that made our working relationship stronger, not weaker. What I notice now, looking back, is that nobody in that group remembers exactly what was said. What they remember, and this is what people always generally remember, is how somebody handled being caught off guard. Composure that gets knocked and then quietly comes back is far more memorable and far more respected than composure that was never tested in the first place. So, if you're someone who replays your awkward moments on a loop afterwards, wondering why you didn't say something sharper in the moment, I invite you to let that go. You were not being tested on wit. You were being tested on whether you could breathe, stay present, and come back to yourself after that surprise. And from what I can tell, you probably did better at that than you're giving yourself credit for. Next time it happens, and it will happen, because that's how rooms full of people communicating work. Try giving yourself one full breath as you straighten your posture before you respond. It's a small action to reach out for, and it works far better than anything clever that you or I could have said after the surprise.